Hey everyone.
Hey, hey.
Hey Dreama. Dreama, I'm glad you came over. I love you so much. Guys, is this not a great a day? I'm looking for
I
chat
literally
and
cried.
you, you literally.
Oh, I cried my eyes out. I didn't expect this, and I didn't expect it to hit me like that either.
Yeah, it was a very interesting day for us actually. Hello Martha, Jessica, Dreama, Casey. Hey Shredder. Yeah, I was telling Iconic that we need to get those police officers over here to find Summer Wells and the missing boys and Michael Vaughn. Like, amazing work.
They were on it from the start. We
Hey,
questioned a lot of
Soldier.
things. They were on it.
Hey, Martha. Hey, Tiffany. They were on it. Gonna wait a couple minutes because then we're gonna tell you what happened to us today as we started looking into Cleo again to see what we were originally going live about. And then it was like, you guys, it was so weird. We're going to break it down for you in a minute, but oh my gosh. If I knew how to do cartwheels, I would have done a cartwheel today. Hey, H
I was,
Bird. Little
I was
Cleo is
so
home
much
with
in
her
love.
parents, nice and safe. Oh, it's magic. This is actually the first case I followed with a child that has been gone for this long and has been found. It's just crazy. Hi, Vanilla Cupcake. And as we're live right now, they're like going in Australia on the website and they just keep posting all these great updates that I actually recorded because that's Channel 7 hates me. So I'm in Australia right now, guys, coming live with my VPN.
I do not want to go back onto the dark web anytime soon, Mar.
You don't want to go back on what?
I do not want to go back on the dark web. I've seen too much.
Well, there was good news about Cleo that they said she was not found on the black web, which I was really shocked when they came out and said that, but we're going to play that for you guys in a little bit. Hi, Kelly. He actually came out and said that they checked for pictures of Cleo on the dark web and there were none found. I was mind blown when he said that. Mind blown. But Iconic was already on the black web looking for her, so they didn't stand a chance with her searching the dark web. We can't even get past the first page.
No.
Oh, shit. You know, Martha Urbina, this is wonderful news. Made me cry. I truly apologize to the mom and stepdad. I thought they had something to do with her disappearance. At first, I thought it was weird. The stepdad really threw me for a loop with his behavior. But then her and I started talking about things today that we're going to explain. Today was very weird for Iconic and I. It was just, maybe we just think we're crazy and how it happened, but it was crazy how it happens. But she's going to have to tell you the story because I get too excited.
We'll both tell it.
Yeah, the stepdad was starting to. I mean, I never came out and said I think I didn't know what happened to Cleo, but I was convinced that a stranger did not take that child out of the tent with a man being in there. But obviously, this goes to show you guys that this happens. People are kidnapping children. So let's start at the beginning today, where we started finding all those crazy clues about they were doing a recovery and searching in the garbage. Like that was a little scary today.
Yeah, you start there. Or I can start there. Okay, so we were reading articles. They had been searching, I think it was 100 kilometers. Is that correct? From the
I am
campground
going
in
to
either
open up
direction.
this. So this was actually out November 1st at 6:40 a.m. But we know she's found, and we know what we're going to explain to you, like how we were going through it today and what we were thinking about, and how we just found this to be so crazy. But this is where it started. Okay, you want to read the story?
Yes, I can do that.
Bear with us,
Okay.
guys, because you'll understand. It gets okay. Let me write down because I'm so excited.
Mhm.
I'm so excited the
Cleo
baby was
Smith's
found.
story. Me too. Police reveal CCTV black spots en route from Blowholes to Carnarvon. I might be frozen. It's taken a second. Okay, there we go. Cleo Smith's potential abductor could have traveled out of the Blowholes campsite into Carnarvon without being captured by a single security camera, it's been revealed. After 3 weeks of mapping out the area through CCTV, detectives have now established multiple escape routes that avoid direction detection between where the 4-year-old disappeared and the small county or country town 70 kilometers away. The West Australian can also reveal campers and those who volunteered to help in the search for Cleo in the morning of her disappearance had their belongings, including clothes and phones, forensically tested. After being formally interviewed by detectives, those who were in the area at the time of Cleo's suspected abduction on October 16th were also swabbed for DNA and had their palm and fingerprints collected for examination. A West Australian police spokesperson said the process was a standard forensic procedure for the elimination process into the investigation. The data collected through voluntary consent for identifying particulars, said the spokeswoman. The volunteer who helped with the initial search told the West that during the process, he was taken through a long and thorough questionnaire about the events of the day and his activity. Detective Superintendent Rod Wild last week revealed police had managed to identify and track down more than 100 people that were in the Blowholes area at the suspected abduction when the suspected abduction took place. It is understood dozens of other people have come forward and identified since. Detectives from Task Force Rhodia, the special operation dedicated to finding Cleo, have been poring over thousands of hours of footage sent in from public to find any clues that would lead to the missing girl. However, it is understood police are yet to identify the driver and potential occupants of the car seen turning off the Blowholes Road at around 3 a.m. in the morning she vanished. Superintendent Wild issued an appeal for information about the vehicle after 2 people who drove past the turnoff reported the car was headed north on the Northwest Coastal Highway. The car was described as a passenger vehicle. The driver of the car has yet to come forward despite multiple appeals, and the detectives are also yet to find CCTV footage which captured the car in question.
So earlier this afternoon, we saw that article, which was a couple of days ago, and we thought, okay, looking for the car. Um, no one's come forward. And then we go into this article, and this was the one that really kind of freaked me out. And this is when I started saying to her, iconic. Let me share the screen. I kept saying to her, I don't know, what was I saying? I was just like, God, I can't figure it out, but something is going on. And
You
at
kept
this
saying you had
time,
a
it was
feeling.
about, and this was about 1:30 Eastern time.
Yes.
When we started saying something's weird, like they know something's happening. Because this was, I think this is the article that was out November 2nd, which was for them yesterday. Because today it's the second for us, but we're getting ready to jump into the future. So they started using the drones and aircraft, a detailed map of the Blowholes campsite, and they were looking for disturbances in the sand. So now we're thinking, well, now they think that somebody took her and they buried Cleo, like out somewhere around the campground. And then we started thinking, I told her today that I honestly didn't feel after last night in the interview that the mother had anything to do with it. Like, I just felt like now she was looking for reassurance that the boyfriend was telling the truth or the husband, because I always thought he was a little strange because of how quiet he was and the no eye contact. And the one statement, your favorite statement that he made, which was what?
Calling her lazy. He said she's
The only
lazy.
thing he said was that she was. So then I'm thinking, and we're talking, and I said, there is no way that father Jake got up in the middle of the night and took out that baby in that close quarters without Ellie knowing something. But I was still convinced that there was no way that somebody went in that tent and took out a child. Like, I just in a sleeping bag.
Mm-hmm. And there was
So
never
then we're
any
back
talk
in this
about the
article.
timeline of that night.
And then they kept talking in this article that she could have wandered off. It's just weird to me. Something's weird. Like, now they're looking for her, and why are they doing this now? But then this was the one that really got me. And then I thought, what in the entire F is going on?
But for me,
this one to me was mind blowing, and I thought, they're looking for something in this garbage, right? Hey, Kaz, wake up, honey. And I'm not
she's
gonna
in here. I
read
think I
all of
saw her.
into these articles, but so then they start digging for trash, and this was November 1st, but they just release it later because they want to keep us in suspense. So they're sorting through mounds of rubbish from roadside bins located hundreds of kilometers away from the campsite she vanished from. Released pictures last night showing forensic officers examining 50 cubic meters of garbage collected from receptacles as far as Geraldton, about 500 kilometers from the Blowholes campground, and these towns. Mary, Mer, uh, Malaya, 65 kilometers to its north. So then we're like, well, what are they looking for? And you go ahead, you can go into what is crazy today.
Okay, so the garbage search was crazy to me, but for me, it blew my mind whenever I saw, and it was literally about 1:45 a.m. there, maybe 2 o'clock. They had canceled the GoFundMe. And when I say they, I mean the mother and the stepfather. They had told the guy who had created it, we are grateful, but we don't want to accept the money. We don't want it. And for me, that was immediately, okay, hold the phone. Why are we stopping the GoFundMe? Because even though the police are putting all these funds into it right now, if it turns into a Summer Wells situation, you're going to need that money later down the road, right? So I stopped in my tracks.
Exactly.
And now knowing
So the
that was when they found her, they didn't need the money. But we didn't
yeah.
know
So
that
then
for
at
several more
2:30 we're
hours.
starting. So then at 30 Eastern time we start getting. I'm weirded out, not weirded out, but I'm like, girl, something is not right. I can feel something. I'm telling you, something is going to happen. And I said this on my live that the next couple of days something is going down. And today I was like, something is going to happen. So the the time that they were literally busting down the door and they found Cleo at 1:30, what was it, a.m. their time?
AM. Yes. Which is
We were
kind of
in
crazy because
Discord talking on the phone, posting. Go ahead.
1:30 a.m. is the last time her mother saw her. So for her to be found at 1:30 a.m., that's kind of full circle.
It was just weird the time frame and how I just stopped in my tracks, and that's why my title earlier said why now. I just was why now? Well, we know because the baby was found. It's so weird. So weird.
A good weird.
Is this not amazing? Hey, Andy. Alma. Hey, Alma. Hello, Casby. Oh, Kaz, I've got all of the updates on video from Cleo today. I've got like the one that just took place like 20 minutes ago with the captain chief. I'm not sure. But Kaz, we want you to come up in a little bit because we want to ask you a couple of things about how the system works over there as far as the creeper boy and what will how like she was asking me earlier, well, he's going to see the judge the next day. I'm like, well, in the United States, that's kind of how it goes down, depending if it's a holiday, but I don't know how it goes down in Australia. I am so going to get an Australian accent. I'm going to walk around where I live that people I don't know, which is probably one out of 30, just use my Australian accent. Because all as I know is the dingo ate your baby. I'm so happy she's alive. We also spoke about, but I really don't want to, because you guys will hear all of the little news clips that I recorded from just like an hour ago. But they are saying that she was not harmed. This man was out buying nappies. That's the Australian word. Kaz, are you proud of me? I learned the word nappies, which are diapers for Cleo. Maybe he just wanted a child. We have to pray and not think about that and think about that maybe he did not harm her. She was with him for close to 3 weeks. Amen,
Truly
Tiffany.
a great outcome,
Amen.
honestly.
Yeah, it was like I was jumping. I was like out in the real world, and I think when I got the first text, I was actually at the Going Postal store, and I'm like, and then Dave, the man that owns it, was like, "What's wrong, Mar?" And I was like, "Oh, they found the little Australian girl." And he's like, "What little Australian girl?" I'm like, "Never mind. Feed the kidnapper to the dingoes." So, but but before we get into these little next couple of things that we have, and especially these great news out today, and Kaz B, since she lives there, she probably already cheated and watched them. But like talking about a criminologist talking about why he might have taken her and the car, that probably was his car. Now that we think about it, I'm not saying it is the car, but that was the only car leaving the campground at what, 3:30 in the morning?
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense now that we have more pieces, but it just, what were the odds, you know? My mind is still blown.
I am so excited. Like I totally think we need to throw a Cleo party. I think we should all jump on a plane and go to Australia. No cheating, Kaz. You're not allowed to watch any news on breaking stories in Australia anymore. Okay, so we got freaked out. So at this time, we are totally saying something's going down. The major blow, the 870K GoFundMe shut down. Cameras may have not caught Cleo's abductor on the police as the search goes on. And then we get into the man buying nappies. And I'm going to ask Kaz to come up in a little bit because we have some questions regarding on what will go happen next with this creeper and if they'll show pictures or does she have a picture? Is there one out yet? But I'm watching channel 7. It's on a tab right now. I've got all these videos. This was the neighbor. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and play the videos on this one. But they spotted the neighbor buying diapers just 2 days before Cleo was found inside the house. She's alive and well. Oh, so it's a property. I gotta put this in map real quick. Tonkin Crescent. Okay. So before we get into our videos, do you want to talk about anything?
Me or
Mm-hmm.
them? Um, no, I don't think so. There's a few things in these articles that might come up and I don't want to give them away yet that I thought were funny.
Yeah, well, I am just gonna go ahead and play the news clips that I recorded with their because I have to. I mean, I love your voice and you read well, but I have to listen to the Australia accent.
Oh, for sure. Me too.
I love that. All right, let's do it. Let's listen to all these new updates that were just out. Like, I have to do my entire screen for this. So, I want to blow your guys' eardrums for a second. Watch your eardrums for 1 second, guys. And tell me if you guys can hear it okay.
We spin this way. G'day, guys. Your neighbours here. Do you know actually what's just been unfolding outside your house this morning?
No, we don't hardly know, but we was down the road there, just at my auntie's house there, and like because we see him up and down in his car driving, yeah. But every time we see him at his house here, like he'll jump in his car and he'll drive. But then he'll come around and he'll like make sure he'll just keep driving. Yeah.
Yes. I'll just interrupt you there, mate. Are you aware that this is the home where Cleo Smith was found this morning at 1 o'clock?
Yeah, I was there.
The club.
Yeah, I was down the road.
Describe for us what happened.
The detective started, it was about 2, and like, yeah, he was down the road. And then 2 jumped out, and then they walked in there, 10 or 11, something like that. But then you know, fun and some got fun and other.
And how friends were they sort of going into the house and they executed that search?
Nah, we wasn't too sure. Yeah, like we stayed our distance. Yeah, we stood back and we waited. And after that, they like we seen some like on the detective's shoulder. We thought it might be that little girl now, which it was. Yeah. So then I went closer to.
The recording is like that. I know it's on their end, but you guys will hear that it goes away. 1 second.
And like,
wait a second. Wait a second. Is this man talking over here?
In there about 10 or 11, something like that. But
all right, guys, hang on because the site was playing too. I'm like, what am I like hearing like little voices in my head too? Okay, one more time.
Let me clear something up. The diapers isn't what gave him away. They noticed
hey guys,
first.
Your neighbors.
Wait. Okay, go ahead.
They didn't turn him in for buying diapers. This is something they told the reporters after she was found. They said, oh, you know, we noticed this, and it clicked after she was found that he was buying them for her. We didn't know that he had her. We didn't expect him to have her. We're shocked. So they didn't turn him in for buying the diapers. And that's all I have to say. You can go back to the video. Sorry.
All right, here we go. I was thinking, like, why am I... Wait, let me just make sure one more thing. Let me just make sure that let me close these other tabs because I want to leave that one open because that one's the one that's giving all the live updates. I'm going to close this one. This one. And this is the one that's doing the live updates that we'll keep on so that we don't miss anything. And so far we haven't. Okay, so let's go back to the video and let's try this again without hearing it 2 times. I was like, my gosh, I think I got voices in my head.
We spin this way. G'day, guys. Your neighbours here. Do you know actually what's just been unfolding outside your house this morning?
No, we don't hardly know, but we was down the road there, just at my auntie's house there, and like because we see him up and down in his car driving around, yeah. But every time we see him in his house here, like he'll jump in his car and he'll drive. But then he'll come around and he'll like make sure I look at his house, but then he'll just keep driving. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just interrupt you there, mate. So are you aware that this is the home where Cleo Smith was found this morning at 1 o'clock?
Yeah, I was there this morning, just down the road.
And describe for us what happened.
What happened was there was a detective's car there. There was about 2, and like yeah, we was down the road, and then 2 jumped out, like, and then they walked in there about 10, something like that. But then ended up finding on the side there. Yeah.
And how frantic were they sort of going into the house when they executed that?
No, we wasn't too sure. Yeah, like stayed our distance. Yeah, we stood back and waited. But then after that, like we seen someone like that detective's shoulder. We thought it might be that little girl now, which it was. Yeah. So then I went closer to the detective's car, yeah, and I saw her in the back of the car, yeah, with the detective we was holding her, yeah.
And when you saw her in the back of the car, what was going through your mind?
I was like a bit shocked too at the same time, yeah, because the person like is in our street, and yeah, like yeah, we walk around, yeah, and what we do best.
And we won't reveal the name of the individual that you're neighbours with, but can you put insight into what they're like?
Neighbours, like, they quiet and that they like they do their own thing, but everyone like they know the food days at that house that I wouldn't think about or wouldn't thought about it would be him or something. Yeah. But shock ourselves that it was him. Yeah.
And there we believe for up to 3 weeks. Did you have any sign that she might have been, anyone might have been taken there? Was there anything suspicious that piqued your interest over the 3 weeks?
Yeah. Other day, like I think it was Monday, we saw him in the.
Reason why Cleo could have been there. Is there anything else that's coming to mind now when you cast your mind back that could have given you a hint as to what was happening just next door?
Yeah, could have. I wasn't too sure about that.
Yeah, pretty incredible, guys, and you can see very much. The witnesses and the neighbours here are incredulous. They're just digesting the information. It's very raw here on this street in Carnarvon. That's only 2 from the police station, literally under the nose of the massive operation, the Police Task Force Rodeo.
Oh no, it skipped the part about him running laps up and down the road.
They might have taken it out because that's the part that skipped in the video that I told you where it went into that circle again.
Right.
But I have more videos. I have, like, if you look, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 9 more clips. But I thought we could discuss the neighbor and what we were talking about earlier. I mean, did this man just want a child? I mean, did he have, I heard in the chat, I saw in the chat, I mean, someone said that this person was known to the police. Now, we've tried to look up the monster registry in Australia, but of course we don't know his name and we don't understand how to look it up there. I mean, we were on the page, but it's so confusing.
Much different ball game.
Why take a little girl? And if you like are going to like, I don't want to say anything, YouTube hates with children, but why are, like, if you planned on, like, I don't know what you planned, but if they're saying she's not harmed, and we'll hear more about that, about the picture from the hospital bed where she's fine. But you're out buying, I'm going to start calling them nappies. You're out buying nappies.
Yeah, if he was doing something nefarious, I wouldn't imagine him going out and getting Pampers and Kimbies and nappies.
Right? It's just, maybe he wanted a kid. Maybe
But
he
she
was
was
like,
there
you know, like
alone.
that one guy in.
She was there alone, though, so I wonder how long
What'd
she
you
had been alone.
say?
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
She was found alone, so I'm just wondering how long he had left her.
Where's the echo, Kara? I don't hear an echo. Do you think like he went to, like, this will all come out, and plus Kaz is going to come out. So let's go ahead and listen to the next part, because that is strange. He's out buying Cleo diapers. I do not understand why this station does not like me.
Criminologist Xanthi Mallet, who joins us again. Xanthi, you've now had time to digest this.
This is a criminologist, and she talks about, look at how excited, this is the man, look how excited he is. He is, I love this newsman, how happy he is that Cleo was found. But she's a criminologist that talks about, I guess, her thoughts on the abductor.
Are you still unbelievable that she was found? What?
Okay, wait, is it echoing now?
I don't hear
When
an
this
echo.
video plays, it was the first video, they had a problem recording it on their end, so yes, it was an echo. But what about this one, Hummingbird? I don't see I don't hear an echo. Let's see if she says it, because if we mic down, there shouldn't be an echo. First video had an echo because that was coming off of their news station.
What percentage chance did you give her of being alive?
To be honest, having looked at a number of these cases over a long time in my career now, I was sure by this point that Cleo wasn't going to be found alive. Just basing that purely on the statistics of when a child is abducted, the likelihood was very, very remote. I did think that this case was going to be solved. I felt that the police were moving towards a conclusion. In the package there was a sense generally that the police obviously knew more than they were letting on, but also that they had a very clear strategy in mind, which told us that they really kind of knew where they were going. The investigation, it wasn't purely open. They weren't just following every possible avenue. They really knew where they were trying to this. So yes, very good this morning, but I gave it a very small chance of this type of success.
Yeah, Carnarvon is 900 kilometres north of Perth. Tiny little Blowholes campsite is 50 k's north of that. So this really is about as remote as you get. We've heard that the man in custody, the alleged abductor, would have been a lone wolf predatory offender. Do you think there would have been one person or more involved in this thing?
Well, it's difficult to say at the moment. Obviously, she's been held for 19 days now. This could be a lone wolf predator that we're hearing about. There could be more people that certainly knew or suspected, and that may be where the $1 million reward has possibly come into play in helping bring this result this morning. Maybe somebody knew something, somebody suspected something, they may have heard Cleo at that house. So difficult to say at the moment. But again, if it was the chances of being found safe and well were even more remote than if she'd been abducted by a different type of offender. So the police have done a phenomenal job to track her down, and we'll find out over the coming days more about that individual.
Yes, Anthony, that $1 million reward you keep coming back to, that seems as though it was a groundbreaker when you combine that with the fact that only 4 or 5 days ago the police had no leads whatsoever. There must have been an extraordinary breakthrough.
Well, I mean, it's difficult to say if they had no leads. I think they had a lot of leads they were probably following. Perhaps they didn't have as much targeted information had more recent days. But that $1 million reward, I think, really is the linchpin here, because it was offered so early in this investigation, and that was really, really unusual. We're used to seeing those type of rewards offered years, if not decades after an event. So the fact that they used that really early on was obviously very targeted. It was a tactic that they've employed. I'm hoping that that is part of the reason that Cleo's been found safe and well, because so often we see rewards offered and that they're not actually really impactful investigations. This is a tool that was hopefully used to good effect in this case.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, isn't it? Isn't it? This is that this will be used in other cases, because it could have changed the way and turned the tide in this case.
Well, it certainly is a lot of money, isn't it? So I think if it can possibly help, then that is a useful tool to use. It may have been that. It may be something else that the police have managed to, a lead that they followed, a tip that they followed. Some of that technology may have been the breakthrough in this case. Really difficult to say it was, but certainly the police have learned from previous cases that haven't had such a positive outcome to make sure that this time around they were to Cleo and bring her if possible. None of us really expected it, as we've been saying this morning, but in this case, remarkable results. She's been found safe and well, and no happy.
And tell us about the process the police go through in cases like this, because we all have visions of it's quite like that. It's painstaking, isn't it? It's hours, it's frustrating, it's patience.
It's exhausting. literally followed everything that was available to them. So that would have been everything coming in via Crime Stoppers, everything available through the technology. So that's CCTV that we've been hearing about, hours and hours of footage, so many people to interview, to break down, to try and see who are the likely people to have been involved. How can they alibi out others, exclude those? So this is incredibly painstaking work. It's not like the television. It doesn't get solved in a TV hour as people, may think. This was not an easy task for the police. And I think they really need to be applauded for the hard work, dedication and commitment they've put towards this investigation, as well as all of those resources in terms of financial, etc. So amazing result, but not an easy one.
No.
And so pleased that it was successful in this case.
And to give us an idea, earlier we heard they'd assigned one detective to every CCTV camera, that it was their responsibility to go through all the footage of that particular camera and follow up everything they saw on it. That's amazing. One person per camera following.
Think how resource heavy that is. All of these detectives looking at that, but they couldn't afford to miss anything, and they knew that. And time was of the essence. 90 days is an extraordinarily long time in a child abduction case. So they really couldn't afford to miss anything on that CCTV, have to go back, have to review it. They had to catch time and follow those leads up. So that just really speaks to the level of commitment and dedication by WA Police, that they were determined to get absolutely everything right.
So what are your thoughts on that segment? What's wrong, gamer guy? Hang on a second. We have a fellow family member who's heartbroken. What's wrong, gamer guy? So Kaz B says yes, he is known to the police. Hello, Julian. Hello, Kenny. And hello, Tilly. Gamer guy, if you want to tell us in a Discord, you can. Okay, so what are your thoughts on that segment, guys, regarding...
Well,
Okay,
Kenny just
listen,
said they're
honestly.
removing a dog from the property.
Okay, so yeah, I've got the live going too, Kenny. Hi, Nita. Hi, Patty. But what I'm thinking is now it does make sense, because he does live close to that little girl's house. And maybe he did see her in the neighborhood, and maybe he did go to the Blowholes and grow big kahunas and took the baby out of that tent and went back, so that maybe they wouldn't think that it was somebody from where they lived. I'm going to be wrong. I'm just throwing out, like, maybe that's why they kept going back looking for the fingerprints.
No, I feel like they definitely knew something when they were going back for those fingerprints, for sure.
Gamer guy, then you can't get sad over that. You have to just move on, because she's not the one. Hi, Sylvia. Benton. Where's Benton? Hi, Kenny Knackers. Is Benton here?
Yes, he's here. He said he
Girl,
still
my
thinks the
elderly
parents have
cats. Hey,
something to
Ben.
look at.
He very well could have saw her, considering 7 minutes away. Kaz, I'm going to have you come up when we finish the videos, because we got some questions. Well, Iconic has questions, legal questions. We might have to send you to the courthouse, Kaz. I'm only kidding. But yeah, he really, honestly, at the end of the day, it is not unrealistic that this man could have seen her in a store, at the neighborhood, somewhere, regardless, and then could have them to the Blowholes, or maybe he was there and it was a coincidence that he saw her again. And he's like, oh, there's that little girl that I saw, like, whatever, at a store, or I saw in the neighborhood, or whatever. Maybe he did
Well, the
follow
neighbors,
them there.
yeah, the neighbors said they were all kind of close and everybody sort of knew everyone. And if they lived that close, there's a chance they've seen each other before, even if they didn't know it.
Well, as we continue to listen to these segments that are out breaking today, and seeing hackers, I've got the live updates going right here. Even 7news.com.au hates me, and they make me go into my see. I'll go back to it. Hates me, just completely hates me, that channel. Let's go back to the news. And one day I'm going to see the Melissa Caddick video. I know I will. Let me find that live update that's going on.
Give me 1 sec. Kids need me.
This is just like such the greatest news. Okay, so yes. So this is new. 7 minutes from the extraordinary and Cleo rescue emerges. Found alone in a locked house in the early hours of Wednesday morning. So we'll get to this one, but we still need to finish our videos that are new from like a couple hours ago now. Hello, Tony. Hello, Patty. We love you, gamer guy. Don't worry about girl. She wasn't worth it. Okay, so let's go back to our next part. This is like just freaking incredible news.
As to the offender,
Okay, guys. Neighbours here. Do you know actually what's just been unfolding outside your house this morning?
No, we don't.
clearly bad, not mad,
Wait a second.
well organised, who is capable of abducting a child and driving an oven and concealing the child for in excess of 2 weeks. No doubt the full weight of the law will be thrown his way.
Profile that the
Clearly bad, not mad, well organised crime, who is capable of abducting a child and driving to Carnarvon.
What's just been unfolding outside?
Clearly bad, not mad, well organised crime, who is capable of abducting a child and driving to Carnarvon. and concealing the child for in excess of 2 weeks. So no doubt the full weight of the law will be thrown his way.
Just profile the abductor for us. From what you know of these sorts of cases, you were saying they're obviously well organised.
Yes, he's not insane, this offender. He may have worked with others, in concert with others, we don't know. But somebody who's capable of planning certainly the abduction and escaping the crime scene. It may have been a crime of opportunity, but given the time of day that it occurred, it sounds more like a stalking and opportunistic crime than anything else. Somebody who is well oriented in time, place and person, somebody who is unlikely to have a mental state defence. We don't know. Maybe he's a person who has particular interest in children. That's yet to be determined. It's pleasing to note that none of her images were found on the dark web and that she's been found safe. But I guess what occurred during the past 2 weeks or so will unfold in the next few days, and we'll find out more about him.
So it's likely that he did this alone, Tim?
Most likely, but it's not impossible that he acted in concert with others. But my sister is probably a lone wolf predatory offender.
With previous offences, would you think?
It could well be the case. I said on your program last Saturday that the police probably knew more than they were letting on, with good reason, and it may well be that the offender was being stalked himself and profiled on the basis of a prior forensic history. I think that material's yet to be disclosed, if it is disclosed.
So where does the lead come from, the main lead in cases like this? We've been, 19 days in. We know there was a car leaving the scene. We know the sleeping bag went, so that indicated that she couldn't find it out, for a lot of people. Where does the lead come?
A person or other people, I suspect, have had suspicion, knowledge of this crime, and these crimes are generally solved through great detective work. Congratulations to all involved there, and the assistance of the general public. So what people might have thought is just useless information may have filtered through the police. They've acted upon it, and they've joined the dots with multiple sources of information. That's in all likelihood how the arrest has occurred.
So that was pretty interesting from him. Acting alone, an opportunist, kidnapped. I don't know why I don't agree with that.
I missed
feel
the
like
part
he
about
saw
him
her
being
before. You
I'm
missed
sorry.
the part about what?
Him being stalked?
I mean, there's not really too many towns around the Blowholes, right? So if you were going to live around there and go there for the weekend, I guess there's a high percentage that you would come from the Carnarvon area, right? I mean, I'm just guessing. Would that be true, Kaz? That it wouldn't be too weird to have two people at that campground? Hi, Tony Blackwell. So do you think that, I mean, I guess really because that really is the closest town, because we're going to go look at the map anyways in a second, but it really is. Like, I don't think it would be strange that he would happen to see, yeah, Kaz said yes, many, that you would happen to see that he just happened to be from the same area where she lives. Or maybe they will find out that he was stalking her, because we did all kind of find it weird that they kept going back to fingerprint the outside of the house, like, and saying that to see if somebody was stalking Cleo. And then somebody who lives 7 minutes away, like Kaz said, which we have that on the map we're going to look at, that they were actually, maybe they were stalking Cleo. Like maybe they stalked her, and maybe they did follow her to the campground and saw this setup and came back the next day and thought, okay, I'm going to unzip the tent and take her, because obviously he had the balls to do that. Excuse my language, but
It's true.
I mean, he got to have some balls that probably he sit down and they probably hit the toilet bowl water to do something like that. Did I really just say that? Right, Nita? Nita says her parents must be happier than they've ever been to get their sweet baby home. I'm so happy for them and pray the child forgets all she may have experienced. Well, we talked about that earlier too. The fact that she is 4. Hopefully, he did not do anything to her. And I guess like the video that we watched from the last man, where they said that they're going to probably figure out if he likes girls or whatever the deal was, and you'll find that out in, I guess, the days to come, he said. But maybe he just wanted a kid. Maybe he had, I don't know. God, that is so weird. Like a single 36-year-old man that wants to go get a child. I mean, does that make any... Hey, Nurse Sandy. I was actually talking about you today. Hi, Martha.
How long could he have really kept her? At some point, he would have had to make a decision to let her leave the house or something. I mean, it's crazy. I can't even imagine.
Hi, B to you. I would need therapy as the parent because I would be so overprotective from here on out for both my girls. Oh, I bet they're going to be.
I wouldn't be sleeping tonight. I think I'd just be laying there watching her. I would probably be too afraid.
I'm just curious, how many of you guys, just from what we've heard so far, think that the man that kidnapped Chloe knew her from where she lived and he followed her there and took her, and then probably and thought about, maybe if I do it this way, they'll never figure out that I'm from that area? But then considering that's like probably a lot of people from Carnarvon go to the Blowholes, or do you think that it was he just saw her there that day and decided, I'm going to take her out of the tent? How many of you think that he knew her from Carnarvon? Put a 1. And if you think that he only saw her at the campground for the first time and took her, put a 2. 1 for neighborhood, 2 for campground.
Alma said she bets the parents won't use the stupid tent anymore. I said, can you imagine even going camping after that again?
I could, in a fifth wheel pop-up, 4 sides come out, dining room, jacuzzi in the bathroom, lock your doors type of campground. So it's definitely mixed. Some feel that hello, Julian Barry. Did I say hi to Jessica? I feel he definitely knew the family. And a couple more videos as we watch from Breaking News Today. I knew Kaz was going to be proud of us. Hello, Pamela. I feel in my gut that he saw Cleo, before he saw her at the campground. Now, did he follow her to the campground? I don't know. Did he see her before and then saw her at the campground? Maybe. But the dude was out buying nappies for this child. That to me doesn't seem like he was going to dispose of Cleo anytime soon. And I keep hearing him say she was unharmed.
There's some sort of consideration there. Like, I don't want to be nice to him or anything, but he's being somewhat considerate. Like, okay, well, I'm going to spend my money to buy her fresh diapers. Any other bad
Exactly.
person
Okay,
like
let's
that
go
would
into
just,
this next.
ugh.
All right, let's go into this next part on this video.
Good morning. Well, anyone who is waking up to this news this morning, I'm sure, is either shedding a tear, bawling their eyes out, or breathing a sigh of relief. The whole state, in fact, the whole country, have been holding their breath collectively for 18 days, and to wake up to this news, how incredible. There has already been a huge outpouring of support to not only Cleo, but Cleo's family as well. Cleo's mum, Ellie Smith, has already posted on social media a very simple but heartfelt message: our family is whole again. We've also seen our Prime Minister Scott Morrison tweet. He says, "What wonderful, relieving news. Cleo Smith has been found and is home safe and sound. Our prayers answered. Thank you to the many police officers involved in finding Cleo and supporting her family." The news of Cleo has reached every corner of the globe. BBC Breakfast News in the UK is also reporting the breaking news. It is really what everyone is talking about here in Western Australia and around the country this morning. Matt, what an incredible outcome.
Indeed, Beck, and police commissioners across the country, in fact, have been speaking about this case this morning.
Matt, they have. We've had reports that New South Wales Police Commissioner Mick Fuller called our Police Commissioner Chris Dawson, and when Chris Dawson relayed the news, Chris Dawson actually broke down. So it just goes to show how invested WA Police have been in this case, not only on a level but on an emotional human level. I'm told that Chris Dawson will touch down at around 10:30 in Carnarvon, where several press conferences will be held right throughout the day, Matt.
She is so cute. So that was the morning wake-up call. Oh, thank you, Casby. So that was the morning. They woke up to that this morning in Australia, but everybody was just like overwhelmed. I'm shocked. I am just like, how often does this happen?
A very rare crime
I
and a
cannot wait.
very, very rare outcome.
I mean, think about it. This guy went in a campground and opened up a tent, probably knowing that there was a man in there with an eyebrow piercing. Like he has he was young. Jake is young. He's got an eyebrow piercing. I don't know if I would try to open that man's tent and steal his child. That took a lot. Real nice, Kara. I saw candy and I just saw a squirrel. It was like candy squirrel. Hang on, guys. What kind are you eating? Is it a Reese's peanut butter cup? Wait, here comes Benson. Benson's not buying it. Hang on, Benson. Naughty Kara. A pinch. What are you not buying, Benton?
He thinks the parents are
Benson.
somehow involved.
No. The parents are not involved. I think the parents probably did not hear them come in, because even before the incident went down and we found out Cleo was found alive today, we were saying that, maybe the parents, maybe they drank up a little bit. Maybe they were like, hey, we're not driving. We're at a campground. The kids are sleeping. Was it weird they put the kids in the front? I don't even know if they really put them in the front. I think you had to go through the first part where there was nothing, and then in the back part it was two separate parts. Regardless, whatever, she's found safe. But I think they might have been tanked that night. Welcome back, Hummingbird. I think they might have been tanked. I think they might have drank, and I think they might have been sleeping good. They might have even have had a little lovey-dovey in the sleeping bag too. I mean, hey, why not, right? Be honest about it. Have a few drinks. The kids are sleeping next to you in the sleeping bag. Beautiful night on the beach. Drink up. Have a little lovey-dovey. Pass out. Wake up at 1:30. Give the baby some water. Pass out again, and then, damn, you wake up and the kid is gone. Obviously, we know now that a creeper opened up that tent and had the balls big enough to take a baby out of a tent with parents sleeping in the tent like that. He is like the criminal with the biggest balls I think I've ever heard as far as kidnapping a child.
Or he's really, really stupid.
Oh,
I'm going to
he's
go with
probably
that
really
one.
stupid. Hi, you're saucy. His eyes would have been shot through the front door. I hear that. All right, so let's see. Couple more. I'm just going to put these two together.
Did you expect this morning?
Well, I got a message at 1:38 this morning from the police commissioner. I didn't answer it. I was asleep. But I did, I woke up at about 3 and I saw the message, so it was a great piece of news. He sent me a photo of little Cleo in a hospital bed sitting there smiling, so it was a wonderful piece of news. So, look, I don't know what to expect in these things. You never know what to you hope for the best, but, you prepare for the worst. It's just an exciting day for all.
I think this was the one I was supposed to delete, guys, and I didn't. Wait 1 second.
Has found she is Koshi. Cleo Smith, the 4-year-old girl missing in Outback WA, has been found. She is alive and she is well. A police team broke their way into a locked house in Carnarvon about 1 a.m. They found little Cleo in one of the rooms in that house. One of the officers picked her up into his arms and asked her, "What is your name?" She said, "My name is Cleo." Cleo was reunited with her parents a short time later. Officers say this is the outcome we all hoped and prayed for. Police say they want to thank Cleo's, the West Australian community and the many volunteers. A man from Carnarvon in custody is currently being questioned by detectives. So just confirming, Cleo, the 4-year-old girl that the whole nation has been searching for more than 2 weeks, has been found. She has been missing from just north of Carnarvon in Outback WA. She's been found. She's alive. She is well. A police team broke their way into a locked house in Carnarvon. It was about 1 o'clock this morning. They found a little girl. They found her in one of the rooms. One of the officers apparently picked her up into his arms and he asked her, "What's your name?" And she said, "My name is Cleo." She has been reunited with her parents a short time later. And Kosha, you cannot imagine the relief of those parents after this long search and the trauma that those parents have been through.
This is phenomenal news. So I think it's captured the heart of every parent in Australia. What has happened to this little girl? 3 weeks after she went missing, police kept saying around Carnarvon is a cluster of pedophiles. It sounds as though that is the reason for her disappearance. And through the work of WA police, and you've got to give them high praise, and also the volunteers involved, they have tracked her down to this isolated house and found her. She's been locked in a room. The story of who took her, how she got there, is we are just going to be riveted to that. But massive congratulations to the WA Police and the community of volunteers up there. It's a phenomenal outcome.
Yeah, exactly. So the campsite at Macleod, up 50 k's north of Carnarvon, they found her in a locked house in Carnarvon, back in Carnarvon. Obviously, we're going to find out more details, but we have all this story. We have all seen the pictures of that gorgeous little girl. We've seen the appeals, the tearful appeals from her mum and her stepdad saying, please, please come back. Please, someone help us.
And for a lot of mums and dads, there've been the comparisons with Maddie McCann overseas that, oh, God, not again. And unless the little girl, the tenacity of the police and the community is just extraordinary. But this cluster of people around Carnarvon is going to be interesting to find out the real story of what went on, whether it's linked to that car, the mysterious car that was seen speeding away from the campsite in the middle of the night. It is just, and what a relief for the parents, because, you know, naturally, everyone has in the back of their mind what's the family situation behind every disappearance, and what a relief and an enormous vindication for the support that the police have given to those two parents as well.
Exactly. Remember, it was just such a strange case. The zipper was undone so high, they reckon that she couldn't reach it.
All right, let's go live to WA for a police news conference.
It's my privilege to announce that in the early hours of this morning, the Western Australian Police Force rescued Cleo Smith. Cleo is alive and well. A police team broke their way into a locked house in Carnarvon at about 1 a.m. They found little Cleo in one of those rooms. One of the officers picked her up into his arms and asked her, "What's your name?" She said, "My name is Cleo." Cleo was reunited with her parents a short time later. This is the outcome we all hoped and prayed for. It's the outcome we've achieved because of some incredible police work, and I want to thank Cleo's parents, the Western Australian community, and all of the volunteers. And of course, I want to thank my colleagues in the Western Australian Police Force. I can confirm that we have a man from Carnarvon in custody who is currently being questioned. We'll have more to say on the rescue of Cleo as the day unfolds. But for now, welcome home, Cleo.
The joy out of that announcement. The emotion of it.
I know. I think it's just affected so many people, because it just felt like, you know, obviously the parents don't give up hope, but a lot of people thought, oh, it's been so long.
Yep.
They obviously made the search nationwide because the police were very clear in saying she could be anywhere in this country or anywhere really. We have no idea. They had 200 odd sightings. They've searched through all of them and they discounted all of them. They had no idea.
I mean, this is such a great story.
I don't think it could have gotten any better. I mean, I hate that somebody got her, but this outcome, I did not expect it. I'm so happy.
Alma, I said that all day. I was honestly saying that I think I'm going to get I'm going to get a calling card, and I'm going to get on Skype, and I think I'm going to call over and speak to Wild. I think he was definitely the mastermind behind all of this, in my opinion. I know he had a lot of help, but I think he was the one that was leading the investigation. And I think we need to, you are not kidding, the way that it was amazing how they worked. And they knew stuff that we're going to find out. Like I said, I have the breaking news going right here. Let me check it. See if there's anything new. Nope. Nothing new from the last one. We've got the Instagram for Mom, Sleeping Bag to Salvation. That actually is new, but we'll watch that. in a second. Yeah, that's the newest one. Okay, yeah, they definitely got some updates going on. Hey, Kaz, you better not be cheating over there and watching your news channel 7. Oh, they did not mess around. Alma, Iconic, tell her, Alma, what we were talking about today regarding that. Like, it's crazy. Before any of this unfolded, I'm telling you, I am going to open up a MonkieMar psychic channel, and I am so buying me a spirit box.
You did say before we knew, I have a gut feeling something's going to happen today or tomorrow. I don't know what it is. I'm not a psychic or anything, but I just have that feeling.
Weird.
You called it.
Kenny, you know what? Yeah, but the only thing that I really thought until today when we were talking and I kept saying, I don't think the mom knows anything or has anything to do. The stepfather I found very strange, but then we started talking today with the garbage unfolding, and as it was unfolding, we're digging into the things thinking, oh no, there's no way it's a recovery. What are they looking for in that garbage? And then we're like, no way. If Jake went out of that tent with Chloe, there is no way that Ella didn't wake up Ellie. And then we thought,
She would
well,
have
what
had
if
to do it.
Ellie was drunk and she did wake up? And I was still convinced that I did not think that there was any way that a stranger had the balls to open that tent and take out a child. I mean, it's one thing. I mean, I'm sorry what happened with Polly class, but to break into a big house and go into a room, but to unzip a tent in like an 8 by 10 foot area and take a child, it's just mind blowing. And then you have to question. I mean, Kaz, when I'll ask you when you come up, but I don't want to forget. But is that a routine thing to do fingerprints on the outside of a child's house when they were taken, like, I don't know how many miles, was it 50 kilometers away? I forget how far away it is. I don't even understand what a kilometer is. I mean, I
I
know
had to
what it
Google it
is,
last
but I
time.
speak miles. Okay, so let's finish up this because we got actually a couple of new ones that just posted. He said, yeah, I think I want to come visit Kaz in Australia because actually I think that's the end of it. Let me see, maybe not this one. Let's see if this
talk to here on Sunrise, and I've talked to about this case joined just now. Zandy, this has got to be a miracle, doesn't it?
Oh, I mean, it certainly is. I've got to say that I have been expecting the worst. We're up to day 9 now, so it's highly unusual to find an abducted child alive and well after so long. So this is a miracle this morning. For me to wake up to. So, yeah, I was extremely pleased to hear that. But it's not really a surprise necessarily that we've...
Wait. This is the criminologist, and listen to what she says because this is actually very interesting.
Had a conclusion. I felt the last few days we were moving towards one. Strategically, the police seemed to clear on where they were going in their investigation. So I'm not surprised that we have a conclusion this morning, and I'm just incredibly pleased that it's a positive.
Xanthi, police are looking for her as like a needle in a haystack, but that vehicle leaving the car park around 3 a.m., would they have taken that lead and followed it, or do you think it would have been something else?
Oh, they would have taken every lead and followed them. An investigation, they've got 100 people working on this. They will have followed up every single lead that was brought to them, either by the public, by Crime Stoppers, by, witnesses, whatever it was. So it may be that car that was the key to solving this. It may have been something else. So obviously they've looked closely in the local community. We always felt that this was something targeted. To me, it made no sense that this was a random event, just a total stranger, happening upon Cleo. That was never a logical conclusion to reach. So, they've obviously looked very closely at those in the community, those who possibly know Cleo or have seen Cleo. So there will be a link to Cleo or her family. And I think over the next day or so, we'll find out more about what's happened. But I think everyone's going to be celebrating today that Cleo is home safe and well with her family.
So you're saying the person who took Cleo would have seen her at the campsite or have known her parents?
Yeah, I would be very surprised at some link between them. It just makes no sense that somebody, a total random stranger at 1:30 or whatever in the morning, has gone to, they just happened to see and opened it and abducted a child. So I imagine that they will know Cleo. There will be some link to Cleo. It sort of tracks them down is my sense from having looked at a number of child abduction cases. The link is going to have been key here.
So would they have found, we saw them go through their house, the family house several times, Xanthi. Do you think that would have helped in any way?
It could be a link to the family, somebody that's been to the home. We certainly saw that in William Tyrrell's case, for example. They looked very closely at people who had been to the home and had seen William in the days leading up to his abduction. So it may be that those repeated searches at the house did some important clues the police were able to follow to find her. So, they're going to obviously tell us more about the individual and the link between him and Cleo next few days.
Because we were told the night of the abduction that there was a big campfire at the camping ground, a bit of a party. So the person under investigation could have been there as well, and that may have been the first instance of contact.
I'm not sure about that, given that nobody else at the campground is reported to have seen Cleo. I think they arrived there quite late and possibly went straight into the tent and kind of, from the car and went to sleep. Right. Whether there was any contact, it's hard to know, but that's from earlier reports to the police that possibly isn't the most likely scenario. However, at some point they've come across Cleo or her family is my guess, educated guess.
I know it's awful to today, but there were earlier reports, as Koshi was saying, there was this group of pedophiles in that local area somewhere. Is that a likely scenario, or is it too early to tell?
Well, I think it's probably a bit early to say, but it's certainly a very good sign that she's gone straight home to her family and not to hospital. If there was any concern for her safety or welfare or health, then she would have been taken for medical treatment and possibly a stay. So I think the fact that she's gone home, we all have to take as a really good sign that she's been looked after, fed, given water the last few days. My fingers crossed, literally, as we're speaking, that she is unharmed, and that although this is obviously going to be an awful experience for a 4-year-old, she is very young. A lot of this, with the passage of time, will be forgotten for her, and so she'll just be safe and happy at home.
Xanthi, you followed cases like this in the world. Put it in perspective for us. How unusual, after 19 days, to get such a joyous outcome?
I'm stunned, to be honest. I'm blowing up this morning when this news was released. I couldn't believe it, that she's safe and well. But how often does this actually happen. I mean, everyone was talking about, this is Paul and Cheryl, is she going to be the next Madeleine McCann? Are we never going to get a answer to what happened? So I'm absolutely stunned this morning that we do have such a fantastic outcome, and so relieved, but also very surprised. So this is a miracle. It's kind of, it's one that we should all be very pleased to wake up to this morning.
It really sounds like, considering she did go home, she's back with the family, that like she was not harmed. Like, I mean, I cannot wait to hear this. What? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get Kaz up here in a minute, but I want to see. Kenny's over there cheating, but I want to see real quick if this will load without me having to open up my Australian VPN and fly over there real quick. Oh, they reveal how they found Cleo. See if it's gonna play. I think I'm gonna have to connect to the Australian VPN because 7news.com AU hates me.
It almost never.
Yeah, let me just connect to the VPN again. Maybe I'll get lucky, and when I start the Melissa Caddick one tonight, since what crashed? Okay. I know I'm not sharing. I'm gonna see if it's gonna start. Don't let me down, Police Commissioner Cole Blanche.
Pamela says she wonders how they knew that she didn't need medical attention, even just precautionary.
We are going. Wait. Oh, see? Hang on. It started. Let me share my screen. Because I have to be in Australia to watch it, obviously. So now I think I'm really going to be able to watch my future husband, Anthony Coletti, the sea monkey grower. Hi, David Jr. No, 1 second. Your comment was not skipped. I cannot see the comments when I am on another screen. Kenny, you're in timeout. Hello, David Jr. I know, but details.
He needs a recap.
They found, yeah, we're going to, okay. David Jr., this is what we know. Cleo was found at a man's house, locked in there. She's now back with her parents. She went to the hospital for a checkup. She was not harmed. The neighbors were seeing the man buying diapers. Iconic actually knows the part about him. What was it about him running up and down the street? You didn't tell them that.
He was running laps up and down the road. I guess he had some nervous energy he needed to let loose, but this was happening the last 2 or 3 days.
He's 36 years old.
She was found
locked. Yeah, she was found locked in a room. And now that we are going to go listen right now to the commissioner, who is going to tell us how they found her there, because we all still don't know. So David Jr., this is all we know. That they found her at 1:30 in the morning Australian time. So this is all happening like right now. These reports are coming in. So that's where we're at. A criminologist that we listen to seems to believe that the person knew of Cleo. What we were trying to ask and figure out and speculate on was, did the guy know Cleo from the neighborhood because he lived 7 minutes away? Or was it random and he happened to see her at the campground and he had big enough balls to open up the tent and take a baby out with a man and a woman in the tent? So now we're going to see what this man's face, man. He is so excited Cleo was found, the newsman. So now we're going to see what the commissioner says how they found her.
Blanche joins us now. Thank you very much.
I will be right back, but I'll have my phone. I have to use the little girl's room while this plays. I think it's 7 minutes. So we're about to find out how they found Cleo. But Cal's probably already cheating on us. Okay. And Kenny.
Much for your time. We've just been hearing this statement all morning. We are, first of all, congratulations on such an incredible job by West Australian Police. Please tell us what made you go to that house at 1 a.m.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the congratulations. Look, the team of 100 in the task force have been working extremely hard over the last 18 days. They have collected thousands of pieces of evidence, intelligence, data, witness statements. That has been a hard slog, and they've been looking for that needle in the haystack. And, late last night, they found that needle that led them to that address and rescued Cleo. Just an amazing moment. I've never seen seasoned detectives break down and cry with relief, and I know that is the sentiment that's shared across the community. Just an amazing moment, and I still can't believe it at this time.
How proud are you of your police compatriots, and how emotional did you get?
Look, I know from the Commissioner, Chris Dawson, down, we've all had tears in our eyes this morning. I have seen bags under the eyes of our officers and intelligence analysts and specialists, for nearly 3 weeks now working on this case. A massive outpouring of relief by them. Massive thanks from the community have poured into the police force. This has been an extraordinary effort by them, but most importantly, Ellie and Jake and the family just, I'm so pleased that they've got little Cleo back. This is just it was an extraordinary moment this morning when the police went in there, asked her name, and she answered back in a little voice, "My name is Cleo." I don't think you could get a dry eye in the house when you hear something like that.
And what did that police officer radio back? Tell us the circumstances surrounding what happened in that house.
Well, look, intelligence led them to that house. They went into that house. Cleo was in the house alone. A man is assisting us with inquiries at the moment, so I'm not going to speak too much more about that, given that that's part of the current investigation. But I think the look on the officers' faces said it all. They were shocked. They were emotional. They picked up Cleo into her arms. Just an amazing moment. And when the phone started ringing, that was at 12:46 a.m. They went into the house. WA police phones, including mine, started ringing hot, and we were just sitting there in shock for a good 15, 20 minutes, and then we just got into action and did what we need to do.
Cole, was it a tip-off? Did your detectives expect Cleo to be there, or were they just following up a line of inquiry?
Now, look, I've got to be clear about this. It's still very early in the investigation. There has been a massive amount of work, not just by the police, by the community, by volunteers from day one. We have trawled through so much information, but I've got to say it is the groundwork, the skilled intelligence work, the officers' work that led to this outcome. I don't want to point out anyone in particular. It was just the excellent work.
Yeah. Did they expect her to be there?
Look, I think they felt like it was a good one, and they went there with the hope. We've had hope in our hearts all along, and to have this result again, just an amazing outcome, and I'm so happy for the family.
Cole, the $1 million reward so early, groundbreaking to do it in investigation like this, has that played a significant role?
Well, in the way that it raised the profile so much that we had the community come out in strong support. Everyone was looking for Cleo. Everyone was rallying. Everyone rang up Crime Stoppers. The information that came in as a result, as a collective, always helps us point us in the right direction. It's a massive jigsaw puzzle, and we put it together.
Because it was so unusual to put out that reward so early, wasn't it? What made you do that?
Well, we've had a lot of success here in WA by going out strong and early and collecting information, because we can always piece it back if we get a break in the case. Our strategy from day one was to collect everything and then hope for a breakthrough and then piece it together, because at the end of the day, people have to be held accountable for what's happened to Cleo, and we've got to make sure we've collected all the evidence to be able to do that and present it before a court.
Cole, this particular house, had you had suspicions earlier, or was this a recent lead to follow up? It's been put to us that by some other former detectives that once you get a lead, you just act on it. You don't get too fancy about it because a little girl is separated from her parents. Was this a really recent lead?
Koshi, 100 detectives had hope in their heart that Cleo was still alive. When they got the information, they acted. Right. Simple as that.
So it's a very recent lead.
Absolutely.
So was it last night, was it? Or was it within a few hours? When did it come in?
Yes, last night, and at 12:46 they went into the house. So it was in a matter of hours.
Cole, is this the greatest moment of your career?
Absolutely. I think it's the greatest moment of every police officer in West Australian Police Force's career. This is something that we had hoped for in our hearts, and it's come true. And again, for Ellie and Jake and the whole community, it's amazing. It really is amazing.
How do you shield yourself from the pressure, the focus, the criticism? We'll talk about Jake and Ellie in a minute, because the pressure it's put on their relationship, I could not even fathom. But you're at the centre. People want results. You've got to ignore the white noise. Is it the process?
Well, you know what, Koshi? You look at the photo of Cleo. It's not a hard thing to do. Mm-hmm. We all know Cleo's in our lives. It's an easy thing to work 24/7 to rescue someone like her. It's an easy thing to do. It's hard to do, but it's easy to keep the focus.
Did you always have hope that she'd be found alive, or were there things about this case that really disturbed you that she may not?
That was definitely a concern from day one, but we always have to have hope. We have to have hope. We have to have focus. We have to work professionally, and I can only thank the Task Force Commander, Rod Wild, for making sure that focus and motivation and momentum was maintained. They've done an outstanding job here.
Yeah. And also the community. Called the Carnarvon community. We were speaking a bit earlier, the sense of joy at the outcome, but the sense of horror that it could have been a neighbour involved in this. We've got to focus on the positive. This community really helped, didn't they?
Well, we're talking about one person that's currently assisting police with inquiries. The entire Carnarvon community came out in full strength. They had the stickers out. They were asking questions. They were looking around. I can only thank and praise the Carnarvon community.
You must be really proud of them.
Absolutely. I'm proud of the whole Western Australian community.
A great story. Hi, Irene. I don't think I would ever go camping again.
No, never.
Let me find something real quick. Where do you have the link to her Instagram?
I don't have the link, but I do have it. Hold on one sec.
I think it's just absolutely amazing. It is amazing. And they keep saying she was not harmed. Thank gosh. Like this guy, I cannot wait to hear the backstory. Kaz, I'm going to bring you up. I'm going to drop the link in Discord in 1 second. But there was one more new that was just out. I don't think it's long. I'm not even sure if we saw this one.
I sent you the link in Discord.
Okay. I think this is at 9:56 a.m. today, so I don't think we've seen this one. This is the last new update so far. And then I'm going to get Kaz up. Come on, you can do it. Come on. Seven News does not like me. I'm not understanding why. Be nice. Come on. Dun, 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 dun,
It never
dun,
wants
dun.
to work for us.
Yeah, it takes a second. Let me refresh the page. No, then I'll lose this video. Oh, I have to hit play. Come on. You can do it. I'm sitting on the beach in Sydney. In Anthony Coletti's $7 million Melissa Caddick mansion. Come on. I don't know why this channel hates me. This channel makes me not want to visit Australia.
I think you've been trying to watch the Melissa Caddick thing for like a month now.
Oh, stop. Let me refresh this page. I'm getting a calling card to Australia. I'm calling Kaz, and then Kaz is going to call this news station for me on three-way. Do you have three-way there where you can make a phone call with other people on the phone? Oh, while I'm trying to load this real quick, tell them about our phone call today. Shit. I have to mute for this because I'm going to laugh my ass off.
Okay, so I don't know if y'all remember the sheriff in Lebanon, Missouri, for the Cassidy Rainwater case, Sheriff Rice. You know, the guy with the cheese puffs and the boxed wine? We've tried calling him twice now. I'm pretty sure he's avoiding us. But we did have a good talk with his jailer. I think Mar's making a bit of a friend there. We've asked him to come on the show at this point, so we'll see how that goes.
Him up, and the jailer answers the phone, and it's the same jailer that we spoke to the last time because I could just tell it was him. And then I said to him, "Oh, can you see the?" And then hang on. Let's go ahead and watch this because it just started, and I do not want to lose it.
Content, including what our latest evictee really thought about their shock exit. Full episodes and lots of extras are streaming for free on 7plus.
The police response has been amazing. A painstaking operation over 19 days. Let's take you back to how it unfolded on the first day, Saturday, the 16th of October. A timeline that began with an open tent, a terrified mother and a missing girl. At 6:23, her mother Ellie calls 000. 7 minutes later, police on their way. At 6:41, a second vehicle dispatched. Police tape off the side at 7:26.
A little after 8, family and friends arrived to help. Around the same time, detectives searched the family home back in Carnarvon. At 8:09, a local chopper takes to the skies. Police Air Wing and volunteer marine rescue are contacted. Shortly after 8:30, the roadblock is set up. Less than an hour later, SES arrives. At 9:30, detectives sit down with Cleo's mum and stay with her for the rest of that day. Major crime deploy at 11, and at 3 in the afternoon, homicide officers and search experts touch down in Carnarvon.
19 days later, a great result.
I guess that was it. This channel truly does not like me.
That you expect other police forces around the country will probably look at this. What do you think it was about their approach?
What the heck is that thing playing? One sec, guys. Let me get back to the breaking news. Let me drop Kaz a link. So when I talked to the sheriff, the bailiff today, I was like, so can you see the prisoners from where you're at? And he's like, he was telling me he could. And then I said, well, I really want to speak to Sheriff Rice. And then what happened about the cheese balls? What did we say about that? Did we mention that again today?
You did mention it, but I can't remember what you said. I was saying we should have some DoorDashed over there to him.
And then I told the bailiff, because we knew that the sheriff was there, because he said, oh, let me see if he's busy. And then he probably went there and said, hey, it's that crazy girl from Maine again. And she wants to talk to you. And then I was like, well, you know, Kaz, I'm dropping it in your Discord personal. I am. And then I said, you know, I really want to talk to Sheriff Rice about Cassidy. He's like, well, if he has any updates, and he's giving me news stations. And then I'm like, no, I really want to talk to the sheriff. And then I said, you know what? Can you ask him if he can come on my show? And he kind of laughed a little, right?
He did. He's really nice.
And then he said, your show. And then I'm like, yeah, so he can come tell the people out here that are interested in what happened to Cassidy, you know, his side, so that we don't have to speculate anymore. That's funny. So until Kaz gets up, tomorrow night is the book club at 10 p.m. Eastern. And then after that is going to be the Live of Horrors live, if that makes any sense.
Nita, if she doesn't break Sheriff Rice, maybe she'll break the jailer.
Oh, I'm going to get Sheriff Rice to talk to me. I promise you guys. He is going to talk. I wish I had the creeper's address. Because this is where, somewhere around here, I'm not going to sit here like my favorite mapper, Gray Hughes, and dig into the mailbox and the shadows and the poles and all of that.
Kaz said you dropped the wrong link.
How is that possible? What did I drop? An article? ah,
Nurse
I
Sandy
dropped
said
the
she.
I dropped the Discord link. I'm telling you, I start getting sleepy after midnight. I turn into a pumpkin.
Nurse Sandy said she's from Lebanon, and when she goes home for Christmas, she'll hand deliver cheese balls for you.
Wait a second. Where is Nurse? Nurse, would you come on panel? We have a story tomorrow night. I think, is she the one that left a comment? I don't want to talk about that on this. But are you the one that left a comment? What was it? I don't want to say his name. Nurse Sandy, email me. It's in every description in the videos, please.
I think Hummingbird just dropped the email as well.
I'm just happy that she is. So, Miss Kaz, can you explain to us now, since you live here?
Yep,
How
what would you
close do
like
you
to?
live to?
Oh, no, I'm
Oh,
in
you can't.
Queensland.
Yeah, you
But
can't get down her street.
no, you can't.
Anyways,
I
okay.
tried.
So, what, you can get on the corner of her street,
On both sides.
but you can't get down.
No.
That's okay. So now what happens, like in the United States, like this guy would see a judge tomorrow, and then the judge would say that no bond, or he's in and what he's being held for, and then he would go back to jail until whenever. So what happens now in Australia with what's the next step as far as legal steps?
Okay, they'll hold him at the police station at Carnarvon, where they're interviewing him at the moment. And then when they decide what charges, I mean, it's definitely going to be kidnapping and abduction and deprivation of liberty. That's just two. As far as anything else, well, that'll be up to the commissioner to decide. And as we all know, the lovely, beautiful girl did go to the hospital. There's been no word from my contacts with the police that she was essayed, which is such good news. As far as this dude that they've got, my contacts have told me that he works at the same Rio Tinto mine that Jake does. And
That Jake.
Yeah, Jake. Yeah,
The
Jake
stepfather.
the stepfather.
Okay, and one question while you're talking about these things. Hey Brian, what is the jail considered? Like, is the jail the magistrate's court or is that the courthouse?
There is a courthouse in Carnarvon that has a small jail attached to it, because you've got to remember there's only 4,000 people in the whole of Carnarvon. So
Yeah, I get that. So is that where the jail would be? Is that the Carnarvon Magistrate's Court?
Yep, that'd be the temporary one, and then he'll probably be sent down to
the
down
WA
to
Police?
Yep, down to Perth, which is the capital city. Well, it's not actually
Yeah,
Fremantle.
is that WA Police 135
Yes.
Robinson Street?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, go ahead. I'm going to mic down again so I can just put these on the map and show them what you're talking about. Okay.
All right. Also,
Did we lose her?
That's what I was just wondering.
Yeah, we scared her away. Go figure. I'm just putting in these
I missed a part. Did she say who did she say was working with Jake?
Well, she said that that the guy that supposedly kidnapped Cleo was working with someone, and she said Jacob, and then I said Jake, the stepfather, and she said yes, and then she left.
Ooh, Whiskey OG is here. Hey.
Hey, Whiskey, can you do me a favor? Seriously, like right now. Whiskey OG Wogs. Do not call me Miss Mar. That is not even cool. Okay. Whiskey, you know the email in your spam folder?
The one he keeps not checking.
Oh, he saw it. I need you to follow directions of that email with that phone number and text hello. Okay? Please, thank you. Greatly appreciate it. We played your videos last night, Whiskey, of you and your new 2 songs, Nobody Wants You and Falupa Palooza. Yeah, can you do that like right now, Whiskey, or would that be like a really big problem? You'll be okay. Nobody's gonna bite you or try to kidnap you, you know. David, why are you leaving? I think Kaz ran away. We scared her.
Well,
Welcome back. Welcome back, gamer guy. Wait a second. Isn't Kenny Australian? Hey, Kenny, where are you? Paging Kenny. Anyways, let's see. I just want to have a look real quick. Oh, I have to sneeze. Hang on. You can
Kenny
one day,
said she
gamer
has
guy.
McDonald's Wi-Fi. I don't think so. Did you want Kenny
So
to come up?
Morgan, he can come up sometime, but we got to see if Kaz comes back. So there's Morgantown. I forget which jail Morgantown was actually. That is the Carnarvon Magistrates Court. Okay, so I got a letter. Okay, Nurse Sandy, I got your notification. So this is where he's being held, Kaz said. Right here in Morgantown. Here she comes. Okay. Welcome back. Uh-oh.
You there?
Suspense.
Yes, my dog keeps standing on my microphone cord.
I thought we
Okay,
lost
so
you.
No, I'm here.
So he's at the magistrate right now, you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
And he'll be held there until he gets charged.
Okay.
And then he'll be sent down to, in all probability, we have a prison in Western Australia, but he might be held in the probably the Armidale. We've got so many big courts down there in Perth. It could be Armidale, which is 7 minutes away from. Oh no, I've got 7 minutes on the brain, which isn't very far from Perth. But I very much doubt anything will be done up at Carnarvon.
Okay, so before you cut out, before your cat got on your cord.
No, my dog.
You said, oh, your dog, I'm sorry. You said something about somebody working with Cleo's stepfather, Jake.
Yes. At the huge Rio Tinto mines. That's where Jake works. And a lot of people in Carnarvon work.
So who works with him?
The suspect. He works in the same area.
Are you serious?
That's what I got told from my friends in the police. But
yes, I got it. Wogs. Go ahead, Kaz. I'm sorry.
No, you're right, sweetheart. But he's also known to police. She couldn't actually drill, because you've got to be very careful what you access when you work for the police. They check every keystroke, so she could only tell me a certain amount of information, but they work in the same mine, so them coming across each other is highly probable. So he could have heard Jake saying, "Oh, we're going away up to the Blowholes this weekend," and the shopping centre where the suspect bought the nappies from is in the neighbourhood where he lives, which is also the major shopping centre of where Ellie shops.
Okay. So over in Australia, you can't look up people and court dates and stuff like you can here in the States.
Yes, you can look up. You can go onto the court's list. It will tell you who's coming up, because it was a big blow up today because somebody found a Christopher Michael Glidden had been up to go into the court this morning, and everybody was saying, "Oh my God, it's Jake's brother." No, it's not. It had nothing to do with
So let
Jake
me
at all.
ask you a question. Would that be a magistrate court, Supreme Court, District Court, Family Court, Children Court, State Administrative?
He'll go before
Tribunal?
the District Court.
It would be district?
Yes. Magistrate.
And then
is only
what
for
about a
head
building,
offence.
though? There's so many buildings. Albany Complex, Armidale Courthouse. Like, my gosh.
Yeah, there are a lot. It will depend on when they can get him in and on the ticket to where he goes.
There's a Thomas Patrick Hollow in District Court.
He won't be listed yet, Ma. He won't be listed yet.
Okay. Because there's a whole list.
Yeah, it's huge. I've been checking it every couple of minutes.
The one that I'm on here that you see on this screen, the eCourts portal of Western Australia?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you were asking about, can you check SOs for where they live.
Yes.
Believe it or not, they have privacy laws that
Wow.
in some respects protect them to stop them being bullied or harassed. You can do a search, but you have to live in the state that you're searching on, and you have to put in an application to the Register for SOs to get the information. So you can get it, but I tried this morning and it threw me. I got a nasty email from Western Australian government saying, "You do not live in Western Australia." I went, "Oops."
Okay, so as far as him going to court and the media, like here in the States, how they can go into the courthouse, whatever, how does that work over there?
Oh yeah, there is public. They do allow press into the courts, but with us still being under certain COVID restrictions, it might be done over WebEx or
I have
what
WebEx.
other platform. Yes, I know you do. Or what other platform they might use. Sometimes they use Zoom. But until he's physically charged,
I
they
got
won't
down the
move it.
road.
Oh, how did you do that?
I don't know. Oh shit, I just got off the road. Hang on, I'm gonna go back and try it again.
Irene said earlier if you just took us down the road, they'd spot the house.
It's hard to get on that road though.
It is, because I tried for ages to try and get on it.
I just got on it. I'm gonna get back on it. Hang on. So I'm listening to you. So so I want to hear about so how long usually since he was arrested at 1:30 a.m. when will he see the judge?
Well, he won't go before a judge yet. The police will question him until they get out of him what they want to get out of him. Because of the
And what if he does?
seriousness.
What if he
Well,
doesn't talk?
to be honest, I don't think it would really matter because they know he resides at that house. Cleo was found in the house. He's lived there for a decent amount of time. So he will be charged for something which they can put him away and hold him for longer until they can get more charges put on him. But it won't be until they've actually got all the charges that a court date will occur.
I'm on the road.
Don't lose it.
I'm afraid to click to get off of this road, but this is yeah, see. Anyways, so so when do you think he's going to see the is it a judge or is it what do they call them over there?
It will be a judge, yes. And it will, like I said, it will all depend on what charges they slap him with. I would say the two of kidnapping and abduction and deprivation of liberty would be pretty easy to slap on him because she was in his house, locked in a room, and sorry, I'm losing my voice. And Chloe did say that he was a quiet man. They asked
I'm on
her.
the road again.
On the
They're
road
saying go to
again.
the white fence.
I just can't wait to get on the road again. Oh, I bet you Wogs could sing a song.
Absolutely.
Tell me that was not great when I played his new soundtracks the other night. The
That was
Molly
awesome.
Golightly one is funny, but I think it's because I really love the original song to the Nobody Likes You or Nobody Wants You song. That was great. He's got such a great voice.
He does.
So that's the road. I'm not going to click because as soon as I click, it's going to take me off the road. But this is where the little Cleo lives. And so, how is it to find this guy's address? I did see in an article. What was the name of that?
They did
Just
mention the
outside of.
street.
Yeah, they did. I have it on an article. Hang on a second. Very curious to see how close they live together. And I know I read it on an article because I even told her, I wonder if I copied and put that in Discord. I think I did. Did I copy started with a B or something?
I know
Just
I sent it to
outside
you
of.
once too. It should be in there, but I can't remember the article name.
No, it was just the name of the street or just the name of the town that I
It
put
was
out there. I'm
Well,
looking on
the
Discord right
suspect is
now.
actually from Carnarvon.
Yeah, and he was living.
I feel like it started with like a L.
Let me see one
Well,
thing.
Ellie's and Jake's house is in South Carnarvon, and
Okay.
Chloe was found in Carnarvon itself. So it's 7 minutes from their house to where Chloe was.
Yes, I'm looking real quick to see if I can find it. And then I'm
I
going to
mean,
get off. But I actually have in one of these articles, even though I didn't read the whole thing, but I thought that I wrote down, I put it into the Discord. We put notes in there so we don't lose them, but it might be in this article with the neighbor. Hang on, I'm scrolling through it. She is so cute. Alone when she was found. 36-year-old man.
Yep.
It says Sunrise. Is that a city?
No, that's a
it's
show.
the news.
Because here's a picture of the house. Wait, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it.
Yeah, Kenny, I agree.
Oh, here it is. Here's a picture of the house. The house where Cleo Smith was found. Okay, wait a second. Obviously, it's not changing. Let me share my whole screen. Okay. So here's the house where she was found. And if that's the car, it kind of does. They said it was a dark sedan passenger vehicle, right?
No, it's what we call a four-wheel drive, or what you would call an SUV. And it's
Okay.
a bluey charcoal grey, and it's a Kia, KIA.
Wait a second. What is this? One sec. What is this? This is new. And it went away. Oh, okay. I thought it was something that was new. So this is I mean, they don't really show you a house. They show you a fence and a car. But this is where the house where Cleo was found.
Yeah, we call them a duplex home, where it's one big house that has a solid cinder block divider between the two.
And they're exactly the same on both sides.
Major Australian supermarket will sell rapid antigen COVID tests from next week. Coles will stock the 15-minute result tests across 700 stores nationwide, available online and behind the supermarket service desk. Woolworths is also looking to stock home testing kits from early November to be first rolled out in states experiencing COVID outbreaks.
And then there's triplexes.
Rapid antigen COVID tests approved by the Therapeutic Goods Administration will be allowed for at-home use in Australia from November the 1st. And
you've got another video running, Mark?
From between $10 and $30.
Hummingbird is saying the house was empty.
Well, it was empty in so much as nobody was in there. Was it empty of furniture? We don't know that.
Yeah, Tawanda, we tried digging too. We had a really hard time.
Yeah, in Aussie, you can't do searches like you can over in the States. You can do electoral roll searches, but they stop it. Like you can't go like this year's. You can go back, say, 5 years, but you can't do anything that's current, which is a shame when you're trying to find somebody.
That's crazy to me.
I know they protect everybody's personal lives very stringently over here.
That's respectable. It blows my mind that they do that even for the monsters, as we call them.
Yes, even the monsters get privacy. But like I said, you can do a search if you live in a particular state, in a particular neighbourhood, and you can apply to find out where those monsters are residing, because there are rules on where they can live. But there's also rules that you can't harass them.
That's fair. It looks like the comments are questioning if there was a work connection with the suspect.
The work connection is that...
Okay, I found it. I found where he's from. Tonkin Crescent, and it did start with a B. It's Brockman, West Australia. So let's go have a look. This is where the area... Now, what house he lives in, I don't know. But it says right here. He was on the Carnarvon suburb of Brockman, 900 kilometers north of Perth. And then here's another picture of the house. Let's see if we could look in. Maybe we can see something. So this is where she was found. It's got that little black. Okay, let's see. So that's the house. And it is 6 minutes. It's a 6-minute drive.
Yeah, bingo.
The little Cleo lives over here. And the guy and Cleo was found over here in Tonkin Crescent. Where? I don't know. But in there somewhere. Maybe we'll know more. Look at the color of that terrain. That is crazy.
It's gorgeous.
If you went to
Sure is.
sorry, Mark, if you went to Street View on that street and did a bit of if you can get on that road, we'd be able to tell, because across the road is a tree. Oh, that looks familiar.
Well, he lives in this whole entire area. I don't know what street he lives on.
In that where you were just a second ago?
Yeah, and it's weird because when you click, you're in a different road.
Oh, shoot. Because that park is in the shot from Channel 7 News when they're looking at the police doing the forensics.
Do you know the name of the park?
No, all I saw was that big tree and kids play stuff, like a swing or a slide.
Well, we'll figure it out. I'm sure they'll have more throughout the day. But it's time for me to wrap it up and take my old butt to bed. But I'm very happy that Cleo was. Yes, it is. All right, ladies. Well, thank you for coming up, Kaz. And
thank you for having me.
You'll be watching this story all day unfold. And I'll probably wake up to lots of great updates. Yeah, you and Kenny. Hey, Tawanda. Hi, Linda.
Well, Western Australia is 3 hours behind us, so it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon in Brisbane, so it's on the midday in WA, so got a lot of hours for news to come.
Well, hopefully they'll release a picture of him.
We might get something when they transfer him from the jail. As long as he doesn't try to cover his face. But I will keep my eye out.
All right, guys. Well, my little Mexican is starting to throw a fit back there because she's too lazy to move her little legs.
I can hear her.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Thank you, Ma. Thank you.
Thank you for coming up, Kat. Thank you, Iconic. Everyone, thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Have a great night. Keep your baby safe. And that was really great news that Cleo is home with her family.
Yes, amazing.
All right, girls, let me go get my little screaming Mexican. Have a good night, guys.
Good night.